Hi, my name is Iris, and I'm 29 years old. Let's get into my story now. I'm a CEO of a software company. My husband, Nathan, is an employee under me, but the thing is, he has no idea that I'm his CEO. It just turned out that way. Actually, we first met during a company dinner. I don't usually attend such dinners, but that day my secretary kind of forced me to. But when I went to the dinner, everyone mistook me for a new intern in the company. Yeah, no one knew that I am their CEO because I keep my identity secret. I didn't want to get tangled up in that mess of the media and have to go for different interviews every other day. My secretary took care of all affairs and made sure that my identity was never revealed. Everyone knew my name, but no one had ever seen my face. So, when everyone thought I was a new recruit, I played along with them. I accidentally told them my real first name, but quickly made up a fake last name on the spot. "You share your first name with our CEO?" one of the employees asked. "Damn, I hope your personality isn't like hers." "Wait, what the? Right? She is such a stuck-up woman," another person commented. "Last week, she fired a manager over something really trivial. Poor guy begged her for a second chance, but she didn't even blink an eye." That manager had been warned multiple times that he was still messing up important company records that could get us in trouble with the authorities. They were making me out to be the bad guy for no reason at all. Everyone started listing numerous things for which they hated me, and for the first time, I got to know that my employees had a completely wrong impression of me. They thought of me as some cold, unforgiving, rude, and selfish woman. Out of everyone, there was only one person who stood up for me. It was Callum. That's how I got to know him. "I think our CEO is really admirable," he said in my defense. "It's because of her talent and tough decisions that our company is flourishing today. We shouldn't judge her based on what we hear." I was really surprised and impressed at how he was going against everyone to defend me, someone he didn't even know. I was present there in person, but I just couldn't throw away my cover. I got the opportunity to talk to Callum during the dinner and started liking him more and more. He seemed kind and smart. We exchanged numbers by the end of the night. After that day, it was Callum who called me on multiple occasions to go out with him. We went on dates, we started a relationship. Though I never told Callum the truth about my position in the company, I told him I was working for a different branch so we couldn't see each other during work hours. And as a CEO, there was never an occasion to meet my employees personally unless they were on higher posts. I often went to company dinners using my fake name to get an idea of what was going on in the office in general. They would often bash their CEO, aka me, but eventually I realized that it was their jealousy talking and not them. Some were even bitter over the fact that they didn't know what I looked like. I couldn't reveal my truth to Callum because I knew there would be baseless rumors if our word got out about our relationship. And there were many competitors out there who were waiting for an opportunity to slander the name of my company. Anyway, some time passed and eventually Callum and I decided to get married. At that time, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I used to feel guilty about lying to Callum about my job, but damn, he never deserved to know. I was getting worked up over nothing. You must be wondering what happened for me to react like this. Well, after our marriage, everything went smoothly for a few months, but all my illusions were shattered when I went on a dinner date with Callum. I had looked up a restaurant with nice reviews and booked a table for us, but Callum's expression paled when we got there. "What's wrong?" I asked him in concern. He let out a nervous chuckle. "Nothing. I didn't know we were coming here." "Yeah, this place had the best reviews," I told him with a smile. "Let's go in." Can you go and take a seat? I have to make an urgent call," he quickly replied and disappeared from my sight. Just what was going on? He was behaving very oddly. I went inside and waited for him to come back. He returned after 15 minutes. I asked him what the call was about, which he gave a very vague answer. I tried not to pry further, and I let it go. But Callum almost jumped out of his seat when a waitress came to us. She glanced at him in confusion before realization crossed her features. "Callum?" she exclaimed. "You're here?" "Why do you think I just called you just now to tell you to go home?" Callum almost cried. "I thought you were joking," the waitress replied. "How can I leave my work all of a sudden?" "Betty, please, can you leave now?" Callum almost begged. The waitress, whom I'm assuming was Betty, turned to me with a frown. "Who are you?" A bad feeling had already started making its way into my gut, but I ignored it and I tried to stay composed. "That's none of your business," I said curtly and turned to face Callum. "Callum, what's going on?" Callum looked like he wouldn't be able to speak any time soon. He was frozen to the spot. "I'll tell you what's going on," Betty laughed. "I'm guessing you're the wife he keeps talking about. Well, nice to meet you. I'm the girl Callum fools around with behind your back." I had already guessed as much. The way Callum was behaving made it evident, but still, it stung to hear the truth. I got up from my seat and clenched my fists. "Callum, I want to hear it from you. Is this true?" I asked as calmly as I could. He sighed. "Why are you trying to make a big deal out of this? Yes, it's the truth, but aren't you overreacting?" Wow. What category of trash did this guy belong to? "You should have seen this coming, to be honest," Betty sneered at me. "You don't even have the right looks. I still don't understand why Callum married you." That's what I wanted to know, too. "Betty is right," Callum said, getting up from his seat. "Not only are you ugly, but you have a flat chest and you're totally unattractive. I only married you out of pity. Instead of interrogating me like this, you should be thankful that I accepted you into my life. Not to mention, you can never even compare to me," he continued. "I was promoted a few days ago. Do you even know how much I earn now? My salary is worth more than your life. But why am I even telling you this? You're still a newbie intern who's just pushed around by her boss and earns almost nothing." "Right, to think that someone like you trapped Callum," Betty shook her head. "And now you have the nerve to act as if you're all high and mighty?" I couldn't take it anymore. Everyone had started sharing, and it felt like they were secretly laughing at me, at the state I was reduced to. Once again, I was being made out to be the bad guy. But this time, it was humiliating and it hurt. Callum and Betty were saying something else, but I couldn't hear them anymore. I grabbed my bag and got out of there because I had no intention of remaining in the company of my cheater husband and his side chick anymore. I stayed at my friend's place that night. Everything that Callum had said kept echoing in my ears. I was unattractive and pitiful, and I earned nothing? What would he do when he found out that I was the one who got him promoted and the one who paid his salary? The right thing to do was to leave him instantly, but how could I be satisfied with just that? The next day, I hired a fitness trainer for myself, and I started working on my body. I specifically focused on exercises that would make my chest look fuller and my body healthier and more attractive. Meanwhile, at the company, I gave instructions to my secretary to increase Callum's workload and cut a portion of his salary every single time he made a mistake. And let me tell you, he made a lot of mistakes. It was so nice to see him get agonized and distressed every day. I continued training my body, and of course, I could see the results of my hard work after a few weeks. Now, all that was left was a little makeover. My friends helped me with changing my look. I never thought that I was unattractive or ugly in the past, but I needed to show Callum that he'd taken me for granted. It was time he realized what he was missing. After I was all prepared, I told my secretary to inform Callum that he was fired from his job. As expected, exactly 10 minutes later, he burst inside my office. I had already instructed the security to let him through. "What is happening? Why am I being fired unjustly?" he yelled, then paused when he recognized me. Iris? He stuttered. "You're the CEO? What do you think?" I mocked. "Why else would I be sitting here?" But what happened to you? You have..." He trailed off. "Changed? How is this for having a flat chest and being unattractive? Oh, and what you're saying about your salary being worth more than my life?" I smirked. "You've really offended me, you know? Now, there won't be any salary for you to measure the worth of anyone's life. I'll send the divorce papers through my lawyer. You can leave now." He was dragged out by the security guard, and that's how I closed the door on a very bad chapter of my life.